Hello, everybody!
Hello, everyone. We are live.
We are, yes, probably. Let's get a few hellos in chat so we know we are for sure. This is only our second stream since we started trying to do this regularly.
Yes, we want to make sure you're there. We want to know that the volume's coming through.
And I guess that's an announcement, really, though. We're going to try to do this regularly.
Yes, we are. We sure are. What's the plan for... There's a hello. What's the plan for now for doing this regularly?
We're gonna see what kind of time frame makes sense. Maybe once a week, just to say hi. Maybe talk about our weekly release.
Ooh, that could be good.
Because we do put out a new thing. What did we put out this week?
This week we put out a few things. There's so much lined up. You have to understand my brain is a year and a half in the future, all the way back to right now.
There's so much. We're having to look that far in the future.
Offhand, the quill, the pencil, the pen, the magic wand. There's a new hand pose that goes with a lot of those writing instruments. A few scrolls. So a few things this week.
Really good fuel for scholarly characters.
Perfect. I see a lot of hellos there, by the way.
Excellent. We're definitely on. We can lean forward and make this far too loud if you want.
We can be loud.
Interesting. Okay, the volume is way too low. So what we're gonna do is move the mic even closer.
Excellent.
Okay, we're gonna lean in like this until we hear otherwise.
All right.
Although now I'm wondering if the correct mic is the one which is actually putting input here. So give us a few minutes to figure out technical difficulties here. We're a lot more adept at making miniature creation websites than we are setting up Twitch streams.
Look, if you need people that are ready to set up some custom miniature art pieces and pipelines, we've got you covered.
Yeah, got you covered. But Twitch stream,
we're not
gonna
give us a little room while we figure it out. We're trying to do our best to get it set up. So we're looking through settings right now.
Chris, check the mic input and make sure that it's the Rode. That's all. It might have not here in just the regular audio, the regular Windows. Well, this is the speakers.
You guys are very sweet. Thank you. Just give us a couple minutes to get these settings changed. We are working on it right now.
We should have done a sound check before.
Yeah. The lies that a dancing soundbar will tell you.
Turn this up.
Actually, maybe it's possible.
Oh gosh.
I don't think so. Actually, I'm thinking that's a different mic. Let me troubleshoot this for a minute. I think they can hear us a little bit. But,
yeah, if you guys can hear us a little bit, we appreciate your patience in this moment while Teagan technically troubleshoots this, as he does most things.
That should be working. That's the right mic.
Oh, you can hear us fine? Someone let me know how this volume sounds in chat.
Huh. All right, let's just roll.
All right. We can lean closer to the microphone, too, to try to help. We can also project.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
This is as good as it's going to get for today.
Yeah.
We'll figure out what mic problems there are next stream. Assuming we get the thumbs up to keep going like this, or should we take the stream down and try to make it work?
10-10 on the volume.
You're good.
Okay. Sounded good. All right.
All right.
Woo!
It's okay.
Hi, guys.
Hello again. Properly. With 10 out of 10 on the volume.
We're succeeding there. When we lean toward the mic, great.
So first of all, I guess we have to preface everything during the Kickstarter with how blown away we are at the continued support and how this is kind of reaching some wildest dreams for us. Like literally, we have our wildest dreams as stretch goals right now.
It's true, we really do, and it's an exciting time to have those stretch goals up.
So thank you everybody who's been supporting the Kickstarter. We really are so excited to meet the demand for so many features, and having having more fuel to do that, to be able to hire more. We're currently hiring a couple of different positions. Actually,
we are.
Yeah, we're currently looking for a 2D concept artist to join full time
in house. Yes, which you can imagine the fun of that kind of job here.
Right? Like, that's like dream concept art position.
It really is.
Because you get like to concept sci-fi, fantasy, every genre in between.
There is room for direction there of what amazing stuff can you bring to the table. And we can release that to fans that would love that too, who would be just as excited. There's so much that a concept artist in-house can really help us.
So if you happen to be a spectacular concept artist, I guess reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know. Recruiting@heroforge.com.
You said it now.
Yeah, it's out there. So yeah, that's one role. That's one position there. I don't know if we want to talk about any others.
I think that's the main one to kind of shout out right now.
Yeah.
But we'll be continuing to grow the team to meet the spectacularly wonderful demand for features, for art content, for releases, and grow Hero Forge into this just wonderfully feature complete thing. Just
everything you could really think of.
What does that look like years from now? Once we finish color and all the stretch goals,
it's amazing to think of what's happening now with the acceleration of we switched from bigger releases to weekly releases, and then on top of that, wanting to get more content, endeavoring to get more and more content, really high art quality, and maintaining that week after week. When you extrapolate that over a few years,
continuously one-upping ourselves.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about where we're going to be. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of things being worked on right now at a fast pace. We are very busy here. We are a very, very busy team over here.
Chad is saying they are very, very excited for Weapon Forge.
Yes. That's a big one.
Yeah, we're not sure we're going to hit it at this point.
We're not sure. We're really not sure.
We did some predictions, and they were a little off. They're always off. You can't predict what's possible. And we'd set it at a place where, honestly, we didn't think we were ever going to even mention it during the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We didn't think the Kickstarter would be this successful, and as it was, we were like, wait, we can hire the people to make this kind of thing possible.
We could have conversations about that suddenly after the Kickstarter, rush of support.
And we kind of were wide-eyed, wait, Weapon Forge now?
Yeah, it's possible. We can talk about this as a possibility, but the amount of work that goes into something like that is something else.
Yeah.
It's a huge one.
Yeah, please at Hero Forge in chat so we can see your questions specifically directed at us. We'd love to be answering questions.
Yeah.
And especially about the final days of the Kickstarter and those stretch goals. Layered outfits is going to be
that's a cool one. I mean, it's a really cool one. It's awesome, the idea of having layered clothing, but it's a really big undertaking for a custom system.
How many hundreds of outfit pieces do we currently have that would have to mix and match with others? There's a lot of exponential interaction that happens. Yeah. I think so much of Hero Forge is the exponential amount of complexity you get from all these different choices.
Yeah, yeah.
And that one just
that one blows it out, and you got to make sure that this works on all sorts of races, all sorts of outfit combinations. It's a big one. It's a big one. So
chat asks, and we were kind of expecting this one, if Weapon Forge isn't unlocked, will we still make it in the future? That's and that's one of those heavy realities for us, because we'd sort of sunsetted the idea. We'd sketched things up, we'd gotten excited about it, and then said,
it's a big one. I guess we'll put that over there.
It's just so much to add.
It's a huge undertaking. It really is.
So it's not impossible, but we'd decided there will be other directions to take Hero Forge and ways to expand Hero Forge that would be more valuable first.
Right.
And then, of course, after this Kickstarter, we'll be hitting everything on the Kickstarter first, along with any other directions we take. So I think don't expect even the possibility of Weapon Forge for many, many years. That said, we are still adding weapons.
I was just going to say, yeah, at least one thing that, off of that is that we will absolutely be having weapons coming through week by week, as long as you can imagine you will. And there's going to be very cool concepts coming up for those weapons. We're going to have a whole range of stuff. It's really going to span very conceptual to historically accurate, which is an important one too, and everything in between. There's a lot of directions to go. There's a lot of content that can still be created there. So there's a lot of cool stuff.
I think something people don't actually realize is that one of the stretch goals we already unlocked that we're going to do adds a degree of customizability to a lot of weapons as well. And that's flaming swords.
Yes, that is a cool one. We've got our little mini down here with the flaming sword already.
Nice.
And I just think it's so cool to actually have this on a mini because it adds so much movement. It feels sculptural. It's also just cool to have a flaming sword. I like it. I would love to see what other things would be like on a sword coming off that. What other spells can you have off of that?
Yeah, what are some of our plans for that?
Well,
we were just talking about this.
We were just talking about this, yeah. I think it would be completely reasonable to at least hit some of those really expected basics, like if you had an ice magic coming off of it, if you had just swirling magic of whatever that may be, and how does that move, and we can get such cool stuff with all this.
So that is something we're doing. We're going to there's going to be a little customized button if you have specific weapons selected, and you'll be able to add elemental effects to your swords and staffs.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really cool expansion on top of the current system that doesn't require this wild sort of Weapon Forge concept.
Yeah, exactly. So you really can start adding onto your weapon there. You get to add that element there, which is really cool.
So
and you get to say, okay, I have a holy sword with flames on it, or instead you have a really sinister sword with flames on it. Like you get to make your own custom vibe there. Which is great.
So a child asks if we're going to do a way to donate post Kickstarter. And I believe we are using BackerKit, which is a very common way of like taking after Kickstarter surveys and for people to get their add-on rewards. So it's possible we'll be able to continue to take donations afterwards. We'll see how that kind of filters into all of our plans.
Yeah.
And then someone else asks, how long will it take to complete all our stretch goals?
Oh, it's a big question.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
So it's kind of impossible to predict.
It really is. I mean, there's a huge focus in answering to a lot of those Kickstarter goals as quickly as we can.
And we want to
definitely
do them in a satisfying way and to a really high degree of quality.
Yeah.
So
it's a very real part of this too. We want to make sure that all that content that comes to you is of the highest quality, and that takes frankly a lot of hard work when you think about the pipeline behind that, the artists that you're putting in place, the work that you're doing on these concepts. The rigging, the skinning, making sure different things work with different things. With a custom system, you really have to make sure everything is working correctly with everything. And there's a lot to everything.
There's a lot.
That's using the word everything a lot. But when you think about it, some things interact with other things in ways you'd never even imagine. And we want quality answers to all of that. So that takes the time to develop. But that being said, we want to make sure we're getting so much content to you guys. So that's why we're making sure we're doing weekly releases. We love doing that. We love being able to give you guys stuff every week. And
it's even the team kind of checks out, just goes onto social media and is excited to be like, oh, we're announcing this thing. We're going to see minis with this new feature on it. But it's fair to say some of the stretch goals we've already made during the Kickstarter. Like halfway through, we were like, okay, we're definitely doing this.
Yeah.
We can work on this right now. I think we have the glass effects.
Mm-hmm.
We have those going. I think we've almost finished the arm and torso sliders.
Yeah.
So
we're seeing that working. You
can get like a kind of a lycanthrope or the werewolf or just sort of other monstrous characters.
Yeah. Getting those
fun.
long arms, that's fantastic.
Oh, I added another thing which lets you actually independently control them now, so you can have one really long arm.
Of course you did. Of course you added this. So just another day at Hero Forge.
Bantuni asks about will there be different types of like damage on weapon effects like radiant, necrotic, and force, and so on. We'll sort of probably expand out from the basics with time, but a lot of them you can do with different kind of color applied to the same sort of spell effects. So you should be able to get pretty far with that. And we didn't really quite answer the question of how long is it going to take to do all these stretch goals.
Yeah, we can return to that.
Because we don't know. It's going to take a while. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We are able to grow the team and hit them a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Than we might otherwise.
Yeah.
We're hoping to have them all done this year. Hoping.
It's the hope, and I think it's a really good goal to go for.
It's ambitious, but
it's
we want to get them to people as fast as possible, and also just there's a million things people want beyond the stretch goals,
right?
And beyond what we mentioned.
And we want to give that too, yeah. And I mean, I think it's fair to say we're an ambitious team. So this isn't out of the realm of how we operate. We want to hit this stuff as quick as we can and get it to you guys as quick as we can. That's just all there is to it, really.
Musha asks if we're going to add light sources to the token maker. And it's fair to say that, well, everything that exists in Hero Forge will also exist in the token maker. So, yes, you'll be able to get those in your beautifully rendered tokens.
Which is great. It's fantastic. I'm looking at a few more of the questions up here.
Pandasaurus asks, is there going to be a limit to how much color will be allowed per mini?
That's such a sweet question.
Us limit your color?
Never.
That seems wrong.
What's so cool is actually the range of color on it too. Like, we give you color, but then there's just like so much good color on it. Like, I'm looking at our mini up there right now, and it's like, that's a lot of good color.
It is fair to say that optimizing the UI to allow so many different selections, like any part can currently have up to 16 little pieces of color, and that's times up to, like, I think you can get like 100 parts on your character. So there's a lot to render and a lot to keep track of, and making that work on 5-year-old phones is really difficult. But no, you can go all the full rainbow. And a lot of different colors. Yeah. Oh, plus layers and layers. We're starting to flesh out a decal system.
Yeah. Decal system will be pretty exciting. And that's another one, too, that takes a lot of R&D to get right. You can create a decal, and then you need to make sure this is going to be laying on top of things correctly. It needs to be sized correctly. It needs to read correctly. Where is that going to go on what objects? There's a lot of R&D there.
And every object takes like a different set of decals. Is going to need a different lot.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of ways in which that could not work out in a nice resulting way, and then you're left with that, and you don't want to be saddled with that. You want the stuff to be what you're expecting, and then open the doors beyond that too. Like, okay, I can use this in really cool places.
Like everything we do, we want it to be so easy to use, but that makes it so difficult to implement.
Yeah. We're trying to keep a lot of the hard work on this end, so you can go in and you can do all the fun stuff. Frankly.
There was a question about the 3D printing, and on the turntable right now, you can see the 3D printer that we'll be using, which is the same one we'll be fulfilling the Kickstarter with, does full beautiful gradients.
Yeah, we love gradients for these color prints. Big time.
I think that was one of the most surprising things about the results, wasn't it? Just how good that was.
So good. I just love how it turned out. There's another question. Is there flock on that mini?
No, this is what it looks like delivered. Yep. Like this. Nothing.
This is what shows up in the box.
Yeah, nothing else has been done.
Yep.
And you probably could add some flock.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how much better they'll make it. Maybe the cohesion will probably get lost a little. We should mix this mini up though.
Yeah.
There's just too many good ones to choose from. You're a little closer. You might have to.
All right, I can swap
do some
them out.
swap outs. This elephant is one of my favorites.
Whoop.
Still.
We'll put you around. Oh, you're still off screen. These two? Let's do it.
Dungeon Teller asks about partnering with a dice company like Kraken to make Hero Forge branded dice. That's really sweet. I wonder if there's even anyone in chat who'd be like, yeah, I'd totally go for a Hero Forge branded dice. It feels a little self-serving. I mean, sure, I'd show up to my D&D games and be like, yes.
Right. Is it wrong for us to use those? Is that
I don't know.
Odd? Or is that awesome representation of a place we love working?
There was a very complex question about how Kickstarter works and the way pledges work, I don't think I can fully answer that one right now, but BackerKit will allow you to specify what custom options you had, and someone in chat will probably be able to give you a more specific answer. I kind of want to see that now, though. A color mini that someone has been like, okay, now I'm going to add some things to it as well. Like, how custom could you get on top of that?
Oh, I'd love to see.
Like, a lot of people have suggested, okay, putting a wash on a color mini. Or adding some detail that they think will work better in Paint. But I hadn't even crossed my mind to take it any further because it comes so complete.
Yeah, it looked like a complete visual there. But of course we could add, more fun stuff on top of it.
Prof Knight asks, imp familiars? Everybody has that, like, this is my familiar, or this is the one I need that I play with, and there's so many different possibilities out there. Please add it to the wish list.
Please do. Yeah, we definitely reference that list, and the input we get from you guys is taken into account, absolutely. So we get to look at that later on as we're working through these things and say, okay, well, this is getting requested a lot. That can move the needle in a lot of ways.
Dom Crawford asks for minimal bases, and you should already be able to either take the base off or add a slot, so you can use your own base and build whatever weird and wonderful things you want on there. We've seen some crazy modded jobs for Hero Forge that we love.
Yeah. Getting the painted version with varnish.
The question was, would we recommend getting the painted version with varnish? And I'm actually not sure if the studios, Den of Imagination, one of the studios will be using for the hand-painted miniatures. I'm not sure what their finishing process is, but I expect they'll be sealing it in to really finish it off.
Yeah. Let's see. Any more questions? The wish list, we have that up in chat.
Yeah, check it out. And we really, that's become our guiding star.
It is. It's been a huge help. It's parsed the information real well for us in an actionable way, which is just what we love. So.
Yeah, and make sure that what we're working on is going to make the most people excited.
Yeah.
Although color was one of those things that not very many requests for that because people didn't even realize it could be possible.
Yeah, you wouldn't even think about it, and so why would you request it? And then we come up with it, and it's like, well, this is great. So we need to find a way to make this work.
Yeah. So please share that request list around. Please use it. And actually, I suppose in these final days, please share the Kickstarter around.
Yes. So we've only got how many hours now? We are at a day and a half left. I guess so. I don't have it up in front of me, so I don't know how many hours we have left. But the hours are ticking down on the Kickstarter before we are wrapped up. We'd love for shares. We'd love to, any support we get to this really goes directly back to you guys, frankly. We love creating content for you guys and getting it to you as fast as we can. And everything in the Kickstarter fuels that. And there's really exciting stuff in the Kickstarter we'd love to accomplish too. So.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Should we? Any last questions? And we'll probably be wrapping the stream up soon. We kind of want to just check in with everybody. 28 hours left. So
28. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll be ending 8 p.m. PST tomorrow.
Yeah.
Woof. Woo. What a month. This has been an amazing month.
It's been a very busy month, a very exciting month. The support from fans has been overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's been really cool. And I don't know, we read a lot of the comments. We take a lot of this in. It's definitely seen, noticed, and I think that's a big part of why we're on stream too.
Yeah,
we want to be able to say, hey,
let's actually talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a conversation.
We're not that far away.
Yeah.
Well.
Musha asks, do we get annoyed when people post dozens of wish list entries? And no, not at all. The wish list is the best place to put all of your options, in that we carefully collate all of that data. I think the one time we were a little sad is we put out really cool things and immediately but what about this other thing?
Right.
We're like, can we just have the cool thing for one moment?
That being said, I completely get that energy. I completely get where they come from.
Wait, that's not the thing I wanted. Right. My character's not complete yet.
I wish I could serve everybody at any moment, just all that art content. You know, I think the whole art team feels that way. And there's so many cool things they want to get to. So to answer another question up there, y'all good? Not too stressed? I don't know about you, Teagan, but I'm personally not feeling too stressed. But I am very, very focused on quality execution about all those Kickstarter goals coming up and all the other content we have.
Yeah, this is a time for honing and focusing and planning and making sure we get all of that very, very right. So I am on the same page. I think we're more amped than stressed. And frankly, actually, we've been making some really good progress on color in general. Yeah.
Big time.
Like cross some thresholds. We were able to, perhaps against our best judgment, give a very, very early access build to a few streamers today. Scaticus was streaming the color build just before we came online.
Oh, cool.
So some people might have caught that.
Yeah. We've made some big strides there, which is really exciting.
So I hate to say it out loud, but we might be able to bring color out to backers earlier than we thought, but we'll see. We'll see. It's going well currently. Check in with us again in a month or so. And
talk to us again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no stress here, but this is an extremely hardworking, fast-working team over here at Hero Forge across the board, really, in all the roles that I see. So all I know is that we're just going to be moving pretty quickly.
Looks like our max recording time went out on one of our cameras. We'll get our streaming cameras working great sometime. We have a question. Are hooved fawn legs in the works different from the current hooves? So whenever something's a slight variation of what we have, generally those things fall really far down the list of priorities because you've already got something really close to what you'd want. Mm-hmm. And it's also hard to describe the difference you're looking for. So please send us a wish list request with some specifics on how we can kind of cater to whatever you're looking for there.
Future stretch goal. I think Not a Burb is asking about the stretch goals again if we don't
earlier in the stream we mentioned this, and that's missed stretch goals. We're probably going to be putting on a shelf that might get very dusty. And may never be taken off that shelf, depending on how things go. But we think they're all sort of within grasp. I think it's gonna be really tough to get the weapon forge now. We were hoping for a bigger jump at the end, but there's some exciting stuff in there. We've already hit so much exciting stuff there.
I can't even remember. I can't keep count of how many stretch goals we've unlocked.
Yeah, and just minutes ago we hit the neck and necklaces stretch goal.
Oh. Well, fantastic.
So that's cool.
This is great.
There's a lot of cool. We were talking the other day about how this interacts with everything else. We'll probably have to be making coats with collars. We'll have to make versions of them to avoid the interactions, and doing some weird stuff like scarves and poofs and all sorts on the neck. Yeah. And bow ties, of course.
Of course, bow ties. Let's see if we can get a couple more questions.
Yeah, a couple more questions and we'll head out. But we're going to be trying to be doing this regularly, so come back next week. We're not sure of exactly our regular schedule yet, but we'll be posting that and letting everybody know, and showing off some more minis. Yeah,
absolutely. Is there a possibility an app could be made for offline mini building?
A lot of people request that, and I'd love to kind of dig in further to why people are so excited about the app. Mm-hmm. Because the website should work on phones. We've put a lot of work into making it seamless on a phone. So what do people get from the app that they wouldn't get? And I guess offline maybe is the key question.
Yeah. That's the key part.
The problem there is just how big Hero Forge is. Mm-hmm. There'd be a huge app. Yeah. Putting that on your phone is not going to get practical.
That would be a very, very, very big app.
Yeah. And there's a scenario in which we could kind of download it piecemeal while you're online, but the amount of dev time to make that would be much better putting into features, I think. Like would you rather an offline app that might take a year to develop, or 20, 30, 40 different features that we make in that year?
Yeah. And that really is the trade-off there. And I think we want to serve the users as best we can with content. features. So, any last questions you want to pick out from chat?
Let's find one last question and then we'll say our goodbyes. Until next week. Until next week.
Where the audio will work when we start.
Yeah. And I'm, for those who don't know in chat, I'm Teagan Morrison. I'm one of the original founders of Hero Forge, and mostly I do dev work here, although I have in the past done artwork. If you've played any of the Uncharted series, you'll see some environments that I made. So I guess I do a little bit of both, which is a perfect thing for Hero Forge. Blend of the two. And this is Nora.
Hi, I'm Nora. I'm the art director on Hero Forge, and I suppose nerdier street cred before that would be an animator on South Park and Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And director at Age of Learning as well. So, but now we are
a lot of different things you've worked on.
Yeah. So, we're just really happy to start talking to you guys through stream. It's a great way to answer questions right away. So if you have more questions, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Right? We'll be here next week.
The last question that we're going to answer, Razor Roger, sorry, everyone's names are very difficult in chat, in case you were wondering, asks, any news on scars and battle damaged gear?
Ooh.
Let's talk about battle damaged gear just for a second.
So cool. Yes, let's do it. All right. I think you should lead that conversation.
Well, you're leading the art on it.
That's a big responsibility that I love. Yeah.
One of the themes we're trying to hit is it's just that.
For battle damage.
Yeah. For getting the kind of the damage on a piece of gear that says it's been worn and used and is really old and has that flavor to it.
We want to hit that in quite a few ways, and we're looking at like where does that apply on outfit pieces, on objects, on the character itself, like as we think broader about decals and art and how that works on the character. We're just now like looking through the whole system of where would we apply this damage and how cool can this look, and where does it make sense to put it to?
Yeah, what kind of outfits does it make sense to make damaged?
And we were thinking about that just across the board, outfits, parts, just everywhere, and it's a lot to consider.
Yeah. And then scars, we're going to be doing with the decal system, so you'll be able to choose where it is, you'll be able to rotate it, move it, and various different types of scar you'll be able to choose. Probably you could have a scar over your arm somewhere, a scar on your chest somewhere, on your face. But if you're looking for a scar for regular minis that aren't colored, get out a knife, inflict the wounds yourself.
Because those won't work on the non-colored minis.
Decals won't work there. So, I've seen people ask for missing limbs, and I'm like, I bet you could take that mini.
Right.
I bet you could beat it in a fight.
I bet you could fight it.
I bet you could mess up one of its limbs.
You can make this happen right away.
That said, we are adding missing limbs.
Yes. What a way to bring that up.
It's been great. Thank you so much for joining us again, everybody in chat. Thank you so much as we enter the final days of this Kickstarter. It's so freaking exciting. We're so excited to get this boost in funding and this growth in the team and to make these amazing things.
Yeah, this really helps us bring all this right back to you.
We're going to be working hard.
Very hard.
So thanks, chat. It was a pleasure. We'll see you next week sometime. Check in then.